The Miami Dolphins might actually be the best team in the NFL. Dak Prescott really was the problem in Dallas, and a bunch of boring games to kind of cap off a insane NFL week. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Everyday NFL Fan Podcast. I'm your host, as always, Caleb Henson. With me, as always, is Austin Wiggers. What's up, buddy?
What's up, everybody?
And we are here to talk about week 3 of the NFL, and frankly, it was crazy. Just to say the least. Everything we thought we knew kind of got turned upside down a little bit. Yep. But before we get into that, as you guys have probably already been able to see, we got a special guest with us today.
Let's go, baby.
I've been talking about this on the last couple episodes of the podcast on both shows. Ladies and gentlemen, you may know him from other videos on the channel, some of our Fortnite videos way back in the day. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the podcast, Owen Taylor, live from Missouri. What's up, buddy?
Let's go, dude.
Welcome to the podcast. How are you today, buddy?
I am outstanding. Beautiful day in the Ozarks here. Just happy to be on this podcast talking some football with you guys.
Talking some football, baby. That is right. Baby. Well, I'm not going to keep you guys waiting. We're going to go ahead and get straight into talking about the NFL Week 3. As always, if you guys like the podcast, hit that like button, subscribe down below, and then keep your eyes out because everything goes according to plan. You will see this episode and all future episodes out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So shout out to that. We're getting those together. So hopefully you'll see those coming out shortly. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and jump right into week 3 of the NFL season. And we'll start off with Thursday Night Football. Austin correctly picked this game. I did not correctly pick this game. And that is because the Steelers offense just sucks. It just does. Money Mitch is not money for the Pittsburgh Steelers. But Nick Chubb carries the Browns to a win. And like we've been saying for a while, Jacoby Brissett is not a bad quarterback. You know, he had a pretty solid game this week, 21 for 31, 220 yards and 2 touchdowns. Browns get the win over the Steelers. I got a lot of people that want to talk here, so I'm not going to do all the talking here. Austin, what do you think about this first off?
I mean, it was a pretty good game overall. I mean, obviously, you know, Money Mitch is not exactly Money Mitch, but he didn't have an awful game. I mean, he was, 20 of 32, so almost equal with Brissett. 207 yards passing. He didn't have any touchdowns or interceptions and 1 sack. But, I mean, he definitely can step it up in a lot of ways, but not an awful game from him. Najee Harris did okay, had a touchdown, 15 carries for 56 yards. But, yeah, like you said, Nick Chubb absolutely carrying it. 23 carries, 113 yards, and a touchdown. Absolutely insane game from him.
I've been loving having Nick Chubb on my fantasy team. And Najee Harris fantasy owners, might be time for you guys to worry a little bit because it's been kind of 3 very quiet weeks for Najee Harris. You have him as your RB1. You might want to reconsider that with somebody else. Owen, do you have any thoughts on this one?
Not so many, other than I know that both teams are very okay teams. And, yeah, like you said earlier, Nick Chubb does kind of carry the squad on the Browns. And we talked about Jacoby Brissett. I've seen his performance on the Colts and stuff being a He started there for a year, and obviously been rotating, and he's rotating on the Colts, so solid quarterback. Other than that, Amari Cooper, I think, can be a little bit more impressive. I know he had 7 receptions for 101 yards and a touchdown, but he can still, seeing his performance on the Cowboys, I feel like he can step it up a little bit. Donovan Peoples-Jones, Michigan alum, needs to do something if they want to win any more games. You know, they did have an impressive win against the Steelers, and they need to start, what's his name? Kenny, whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But, I mean, again, fantasy owners that might have Amari Cooper on your team, this was a great game for him. 7 receptions, 101 yards and a touchdown. So awesome week for him. That capped off Thursday Night Football. The Browns moved to 2-1. Steelers moved to 1-2. The Browns are solid. Browns are a solid team. Playoff hopefuls, obviously. Moving on to Sunday, we're going to start things off with the game that I think flipped the script on everything here. Okay.
Colts.
Let's talk about how the Colts just have the Chiefs number. No one plays the Chiefs as well as the Colts do. And that's just how it is. We had that comeback years and years ago in the playoffs with Andrew Luck against the Chiefs. And we've had a couple of good games against the Chiefs in recent years. But I mean, yeah, another Colts win somehow. I don't know how that happened. What I will say though is shout out to Jelani Woods. Had both of the Colts touchdowns this game, which was awesome for him. But once again, I think the story here, two stories here I want to point out is Colts receivers did a whole lot of nothing. This game again, no one had a really outstanding game. Alec Pierce did have 3 receptions for 61 yards, so that's dope for him. But again, another more fantasy owners that should be worried is Jonathan Taylor fantasy owners. Jonathan Taylor has done nothing of note in the first 3 weeks. Now, if you look at last season, he had a slow start and kind of built up, did better later on. But if you're looking at like 2 running backs that started slow, Jonathan Taylor and Derrick Henry, for example, Derrick Henry had a rebound game this week and did a lot better. Taylor did not. Like 21 carries for 71 yards. If you're getting that many carries, especially as like Jonathan Taylor, you should be producing more and you're expected to produce more. So I'm going to need to see more from him on that end. Mahomes, with another, kind of underwhelming game for Patrick Mahomes. It was not an underwhelming game by any standards, but it's a bad game for him. 262 yards, touchdown, and interception. Colts take this one. Owen, what are your thoughts on this one?
Let me just begin with this. Go Colts, baby. T.Y. Hilton, my favorite guy. T.Y., you know what I'm saying? Anyway, great dub. I said this Friday. No. I said this yesterday. I said this Friday or Saturday. I said if the Colts beat the Kansas City Chiefs, just wait and the Colts are back. I'm just telling you. I know we had a rough start to the season with a tie against the Texans and a blowout by the Jags, which the Jags are being impressive. We'll probably get to that later, but the Colts are back. All I got to say, we beat the Chiefs. We have a pretty smooth schedule. If we're able to finish and capitalize on offense when we get the ball and our defense shuts down like it has been, then I think we can go pretty far.
Absolutely. And that's something that I've been saying as well. Once the offense starts to find its groove, I think they'll be a lot better. Austin, do you have any thoughts you want to say on this one?
Yeah, I think it's a little early to say the Colts are back, strictly because Jonathan Taylor is not producing nearly enough. And then, all the receivers, it's just kind of a hot mess. Honestly, the past couple of games, Naheem Hines, who's not even a receiver, has been their top receiver. It's nice to see Pittman and Pierce both getting higher than him right now. But the Colts really need to figure out their identity on offense before I will say that they have a chance of being back. It's nice to see they're in second place, and this is an amazing win for them, very unexpected. I hope they're back. I'm praying they're back. But I think it's just too early. I think that I need to see a lot more offensive production, and I need to see a better receiving core step up in these next couple games before I make that determination.
And here's to me hoping the Colts don't become like Purdue in the sense of we play great and beat all the good teams, but lose to all the bad teams. Like that's not what I want for the Colts. With where we're at right now, I'd say we're well on our way to a solid 8-1 record right there in the middle. So I'm hoping we can do better than that. But for right now, I think we're heading for a very, very mediocre season, which has been the story of the Colts for the last few years. Moving away from that game to the best team in the AFC right now, and I don't think it's close. These are the 2 best teams probably in the AFC right now, but the Dolphins get it done against granted a very banged up, bruised and battered Bills team that was down a lot of players on defense, so that did hurt them a little bit. But what I will say is, what more do you want Josh Allen to do? Okay, Josh Allen threw 400 yards, 2 touchdowns, and threw 63 passes. 63 passes. Tua threw 18 passes. You can just hand Josh Allen the MVP trophy right now. There's no debate on this, frankly, in my opinion. Give him the MVP trophy. He's doing awesome. Surprisingly for the Bills, Devin Singletary and Isaiah McKenzie get their touchdowns, so good for them. In terms of the Dolphins, Chase Edmonds with a great game, had both touchdowns for the Dolphins. Jalen Waddle had another big game, 25.5-yard average, only had 4 receptions for 102 yards. Jalen is a great yards after catch guy. Like, he will catch the ball anywhere and will give you a bunch of yards. So that is awesome. Tyreek Hill with an underwhelming game. But yeah, Dolphins move to 3-0, take the lead in the AFC East, and take the lead in the AFC. So, Austin, what are your thoughts on this one?
It was a really good game for sure. I think I don't remember if we both picked this correct or not. I think we both picked it wrong. I think we both might have picked the Bills, but it was a little bit unexpected for me. I mean, the Dolphins are a really good team, but I just thought that going up against the Bills, it was going to be too much for them. But I mean, well played on their part, being able to take the dub in a really close one. I agree with everything you said about Josh Allen. I think he deserves the MVP. I mean, he has been absolutely killing it. There's a couple other guys that you could put in there. I know some people are thinking maybe Jalen Hurts. I've actually heard a couple people saying like Tua. Like, people are saying all kinds of different people.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I think it's Allen. I mean, either Allen or Jalen Hurts are probably the two I'd put in there right now. But Josh Allen's been playing out of his mind. He's rushing for, a solid amount of yards each game, throwing for a solid amount of yards, getting touchdowns. I mean, they run defeated until this game. I mean, the Bills are looking really good, but yeah, being banged up and going against another good team, that's always hard to overcome. So good job to Miami. I did think it was kind of funny to watch the offensive coordinator for the Bills get mad and start absolutely breaking everything up in the press box when they couldn't get on the field in time to kick a game-winning field goal. I thought that was kind of funny. I understand his frustrations, though. So, I mean, definitely nobody should be upset, or shouldn't say upset. I say they should be worried at all. If you're a Bills fan, this is just a minor setback. You guys will be ready to go next week. I know it. Dolphins fans, you guys are looking really solid right now.
Absolutely. 2 notes before I come to you, Owen. I would not want to be whoever the Bills are going to play next week, because you guys are probably going to get shelled to death against Josh Allen and the Bills next week. Josh Allen's probably going to throw like 6 touchdowns or something crazy because he's just going to be pissed off. And then I'm going to say right now, I am willing to respect the Dolphins. Like, Dolphins, or a lot of Dolphins fans and a lot of people in general that were saying that the Dolphins were going to be pretty good this year. I didn't know what to think yet. I thought they were going to be okay, but 3-0 start with a win against the Bills. I'm willing to say that I respect the Dolphins, and I think the Dolphins could go a long way. So props to them. Owen, do you have any thoughts on this one?
Probably other than, the Dolphins are one of the 2 undefeated teams so far, them and the Eagles, and obviously a very impressive performance by the Dolphins beating the Bills. And honestly, Tua, I feel like, is a great quarterback, but I don't think he's the guy to lead them any farther than the second round of the playoffs.
Okay.
So I think they're good. I think they're a good regular season team. But when it comes to the playoffs, that's when the Bills and the Chiefs and the Packers and all those teams start to pull away a little bit. And I think they're going to be the ones that kind of get beat and then forgotten. So, but Bills will bounce back. They play the Ravens next week. Should be pretty solid bounce back game.
And to your point there, like, the NFL is very much a team sport, but the playoffs is when, like, your quarterback play really does end up setting you apart, regardless of how good both your other teams are. Like, you could be two of the most elite, just well-rounded teams in the world, but your quarterback play will really determine the tone of how you play and, like, the intensity of how you play. Because if your quarterback's going hard, then the team's going to go hard around you, because the quarterback is the focal point, the captain of the offense, but also the motivator for the defense. If the offense is doing well, the defense tends to want to keep that lead and keep things going. So is Tua that guy? I don't know. He's been looking really good the last couple of weeks, so I'm not willing to say he's not the guy yet. Do I think he has the caliber of, like, a Josh Allen to lead them deep in the playoffs, as Owen said? No, I don't think so. I can be proven wrong, though. Like, that's all I'm going to say. I could be proven wrong. Tua's been proving us wrong all year so far, so why wouldn't he keep it going? Moving on to our third game that kind of just broke everything that we know. Put some respect on the Jaguars, for one. Shout out to Justin Herbert for going out and playing injured. Do I think he should have gone out and played injured? In hindsight, no, because it wouldn't have mattered. They would have lost anyway. But props to the Jaguars for leading their division, looking like the Jaguars looked like a top 10 NFL team in this game solely. I don't think they're anywhere near a top 10 team, but I mean, this should just go to show you how good Trevor Lawrence can be without Urban Meyer. No, I'm kidding. But the culture change and the difference that an entirely new coaching staff can make on a team. I think that's being shown by the Jaguars. I also think the Jaguars are starting to get their chemistry together a little bit. After week 1, Trevor Lawrence has been playing very really, really good quarterback games. Like, typically Trevor Lawrence is the guy that goes like 17 for 36, throwing 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Like, he's right there in the middle, kind of doesn't do anything great. He's kind of right there. But I mean, this game, 28 for 39, 262 and 3 touchdowns. Like, is like the great stat line for Trevor Lawrence. James Robinson had a great game. Zay Jones and Christian Kirk and Marvin Jones all had touchdowns. So yeah, obviously great games for them. The Chargers just didn't look good. Like, yes, they were also banged up. They were without Keenan Allen. They were without a couple other players. Justin Herbert was banged up. But even still, like, Chargers, you guys were at home. You cannot get this embarrassed by the Jaguars at home. That's just kind of inexcusable. So I wouldn't have thought the Jaguars would start out this bad in the start of the year, but, here we are. Owen, I'll start with you on this one.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence, amazing performance. You can just see the numbers there. I know 262 yards, impressive. 3 touchdowns thrown, insane. I think the help of Zay Jones, Christian Kirk from the Cardinals, and Marvin Jones from the Lions, that's helped. Those are like 3 just elite players to have on your team. Justin Herbert, him being a little bit shaky is obviously hard, and Joey Bosa came off the field with an injury, I think, with his hamstring issues. So it's hard losing some players, but also doesn't explain Austin Eckler's performance or Sony Michel's their whole running back core. Like, you can just see the numbers there: -5, -3, 5, 7, and 22. 5K, like that's I don't know how, but the Jaguars, we realized that when they started kind of trading everyone and starting to be the worst in the NFL, they're kind of on a rebuild and picking up Trevor Lawrence and having like 2 number 1 picks in a row. Helps that out, but I'm not sleeping on them, but I'm also don't have a ton of confidence in them. So
the Jaguars strike me right now as kind of like a team like the Lions, where you think they're rebuilding, but when they're able to fire on all cylinders, they're a very, very tough team to beat, and they will give you a heck of a game. Austin, any thoughts on this one?
I mean, not a lot else other than, Trevor Lawrence is looking like he did back in college right now. Like, this is a Trevor Lawrence that a lot of people kind of expected to see when he first came to the league. Now, obviously, there's a big transition, so it's not like everybody expected that. A lot of people expected him to kind of be down before he got back up. But the fact that he's there now, he's playing really well. So props to him. Also, just like you guys said, props to Herbert for going out there injured. He played a good game. Obviously not the best he's ever done, but he played a solid game, had almost 300 yards, and a touchdown and, 1 interception. But yeah, the Jaguars are a force right now. I kind of see them slightly kind of like the way that we're looking at the Dolphins, in a way of like, I think they're going to be a good regular season team, but I think that if either one of those teams or both of those teams, because looking like they probably will get to the playoffs, I don't think they're going to do very well. I think that the Jaguars are going to, play well, maybe only get a couple more losses, maybe, depending on how the rest of their schedule goes. And let's say they get to the playoffs, I don't think they make it past the first round, if I'm honest. I just don't think they have quite that
last little bit to get them over the
yeah,
top.
I don't think they have the caliber yet. I don't think they have quite the experience that's needed to get over that hump yet. I think they're going to give it a good fight and be really close. I just don't think they're there yet. But props to them for starting off this well. They're leading the AFC South, which isn't that impressive when the AFC South is the worst division in all of NFL football. But props to them. I thought they were going to be dead last or almost dead last. And they're proving me wrong. So props to them.
Yeah, absolutely. I do think, to your point, like, the Dolphins are a much better team than the Jaguars. So if they were to play in the playoffs, for example, the Dolphins would win. But I do see what you're saying. I'm not going to discount that at all. Moving forward here, not a lot really to talk about in this game. The Rams continue to just put a whooping on the Cardinals. Like, the Cardinals cannot beat the Rams right now, and that just continued here. really not a lot happened in this game. Stafford did nothing. Kyler did nothing. Cam Akers had a solid game. 12 for 61 and a touchdown. Cooper Kupp had a touchdown, as he always does. And then I really have nothing else to say about this game. Nothing else happened. And Marquise Brown had a good game. So I guess you can say that. 14 for 140. But yeah, I'm really going to move quick through this one. Rams 2-1. Rams, they win this one, but they're still not looking like the Super Bowl champions yet. They're still not looking great. They're leading that division right now, but that's just because everybody else lost this week. Who's going to come? I don't know who's going to come out of that division. Honestly, it's between the Rams and the 49ers right now. But yeah, nobody looks good in that division right now. But if anybody can get it together, it is the Rams. But I haven't seen anything yet from them. Owen and I don't know who wants to go next.
No, I don't even need to say anything. It's just you can just.
Yeah. There's nothing to say.
Next
I
game.
mean, Cooper Kupp didn't do much of anything.
There's a few games that we don't need to talk about, and that's definitely one of them. It's just like an unimpressive, like the Texans Bears don't need to talk about. Raiders Titans Raiders and Titans could be.
I'm going to stop you for a minute and go back to the Bears and Texans game for a minute, and just say that like the Bears continue to win, but you are not letting Justin Fields do anything. This is the second week in a row where you are not letting Justin Fields throw the ball in any sort of way. Like, yes, he only had 8 completions and 2 of them were interceptions. Like, whatever. Regardless, like, shout out to Khalil Herbert, who had a massive game here. 20 for 157 and 2 touchdowns is dope. But the Bears are somehow going to survive this season without letting Justin Fields do anything. And that's not going to get you very far, Bears. Justin Fields, like, either develop him, go out there, let him do his thing, or don't commit to him. Because you're trying to have it both ways right now, and you're not getting either one. And you're still 2-1. So that shows how bad your schedule is and how lucky your first game was against the 49ers, that it was a monsoon and Noah's flood you were playing in. Like that's just luck in that one. Raiders Titans. I'm going to say it right now, and I'll probably still be proven wrong. The Raiders are the best talented 0-3 team in the league right now.
I agree 100%. That's what I was telling. I was talking to one of my roommates earlier after class, and I said the exact same thing. I said, the Raiders are the best 0-3 team in the NFL.
Absolutely. And to think, like, they have been right there. Like, they're the Vikings of last year. Like, if you remember last year, the Vikings lost like 8 or 9 games by like 1 possession or less. Raiders are the same way here. They are right there they're knocking at the door of a win and slamming it shut in their own faces. I will say though, Derrick Henry's coming back. All right. 20 for 85 and a touchdown, and then had 5 receptions for 58 yards. So Derrick Henry had a good fantasy week. You don't have to panic now. Okay. Derrick Henry's coming back. He's going to be elite. He's still building back up from injury. I think he'll still be fine. Still be one of the top 10 running backs in the league. I don't think you can really dispute that. As for the Raiders, shout out to Mac Hollins. I don't know who saw that coming, but I guess when Hunter Renfrow was injured, you got to do something. Mac Hollins, 8 receptions for 158 yards. Devontae Adams didn't do much of anything here, had a touchdown, but, not every game can be a big game for the best players. Derek Carr is still not looking horrible, but he's not looking great. And then Ryan Tannehill, very average quarterback, to say the least. This was just a back and forth game. And in the end, Tennessee did not score in the second half and still won this game. So that should tell you something about the Raiders offense really has to start clicking, or they're not going to get anywhere, which is crazy to think about this team being this talented without any wins. Austin, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, both quarterbacks are pretty good. I mean, Derek Carr is looking like a solid quarterback, but they just can't finish up. I mean, honestly, Devontae Adams needs to step it up a little bit, and Darren Waller needs to step it up a little bit too. But I mean, good job on Mac Hollins for stepping up when they needed him. I mean, he did a lot. Fortunately, it wasn't enough, but he did a lot. But you got to have your other star guys need to really step up. I mean, Josh Jacobs, he had a pretty good game, but he needs to step up as well. I mean, if they want to start getting these wins to at least, make their season somewhat decent, they all need to take a collective step forward together. But I mean, good job to Tennessee for holding them on defense in the second in the second half, not allowing them to score, more than they did. Good job, Derrick Henry, kind of starting to take things back. Other than that, the other guys did okay. I mean, Robert Woods did decent, but that's about it for them. So
the Titans spent so much money getting Robert Woods, and he still is not producing yet. I think, though, that it's a testament really just to quarterback play being weak. Ryan Tannehill is getting older. He's not the quarterback he used to be. He's never been a top 10 quarterback in the league. But yeah, not many notes on that. Owen, do you have anything you want to say about this one?
Just that Derek Carr and Devontae Adams need to get some sort of connection, team bonding going, or else their season isn't going to get much better.
I would agree, 100%. Raiders fans, I feel for you. I'm really high on the Raiders. I think they could be a great team, but they're just dropping the ball right now. Lions, Vikings. Vikings get the win here. I really expected this to be a win for the Vikings, honestly. I said it would come down to home field, and it really kind of did. This was a close game throughout. The Vikings pull away and win in the fourth quarter. Amon-Ra St. Brown had kind of a quiet game, which was unfortunate, but I mean, he'll be back. He'll be fine. Amon-Ra's been doing really well. Okay. I've been seeing a lot of people say this, and this is going to go more to my point of the best players don't always have the best games. But for the second game in a row, Justin Jefferson does absolutely nothing. He did nothing. And I'm sure people will bring that to he was double teamed and all this stuff. Let's breathe a sigh of relief, okay? Justin Jefferson's week 1 stat line was an anomaly. He is a great receiver, and he will start to pick things up again. But to see him be one of the lowest targeted receivers, he only got 3 receptions on 6 targets. He only was targeted 6 times. They're not targeting it. I don't know what's going on. So I don't know what to expect out of him. Justin Jefferson not performing well this year. Devontae Adams not performing great so far. The big name receivers are not performing yet. And that's probably defenses realizing they're the top receivers and defending them better, but I want to see more. I want to see more from the best people in the league. I watch the NFL for the best players. That's it. And when they're not performing well, it gets kind of boring. Austin, do you want to have anything you want to say about this one?
Not much else other than, it's a little disappointing to see Jay Jettas not perform well for the second straight game, but everybody has their lows. I'm sure that he's going to start stepping up again, but I think there's got to definitely be a testament to the defense. Just they're starting to step up. I mean, Devontae Adams hasn't been doing super duper good. Justin Jefferson, Cooper Kupp, they all have been having, okay. They've had their breakout games here and there so far in these first couple of weeks, but overall, they haven't been performing nearly what they were last year. I think that's a testament to defenses knowing, hey, these are the key players. Let's do our best to lock them up and get pressures on the quarterback and things like that to keep them from being effective. And we're seeing people like Jalen Waddle. I never would have said that Jalen Waddle was going to have a good season. And
That's a little bold. That's a little bold.
Me personally, because over the past couple of years, he has not performed, and I just have kind of seen him as kind of, okay, he was good in college. He's not doing super good in the NFL. He's going to be kind of average. I was wrong. He is doing super good right now. So I am perfectly fine to admit that. I was very wrong.
Yeah.
Well, there's lots of guys across the league that are absolutely stepping up that I never would have expected. And I love seeing that. I love seeing kind of the underdogs step up, people you don't expect, but man, these big names need to get some stuff together.
Yeah, absolutely. Owen, anything?
We talked about the Lions, in the beginning of the year before the season started.
Yeah.
Definitely think that I still kind of stand strong what I said that they lay in what you kind of said. They can either win their division or they'll lose it, first or last. And I feel like, I don't know, Lions and Vikings are both 2 impressive teams. Packers are doing really well too. So their division is. I don't remember who's the other team in their division.
The Bears, who are 2-1.
Yeah, so all 4 teams are doing very, very solid, even though the Lions are 1 and 2.
Yeah.
I think it's going to come down to end of the regular season battle, maybe a wild card game. Who knows? But not much to talk about. Kind of underwhelming stats from both, besides Kirk Cousins, who Kirk Cousins and Jared Goff, both are good quarterbacks. I would say, I don't know how you guys feel, but I think Kirk Cousins is a better quarterback than Jared Goff.
Oh, easily.
Yeah, I agree.
I was gonna say, okay, I don't know if you guys would agree with me or not,
100%.
but I 100% think that Kirk Cousins has what it takes. He has Dalvin Cook, he has Adam Thielen. I think if he gets one more kind of really strong receiver, I think their team can be
Absolutely.
amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And to be fair, when we were predicting Lions games, the whole schedule earlier in the year, we're right on pace with where we thought they would be. You know, we predicted a loss to the Eagles and a loss to the Vikings and a win to, I forget who they played week 2. But we're right on pace with where we thought the Lions would be. You know, they're playing well against the bad teams and they're hanging in there with the good teams. So this is right where I thought they'd be. The Lions are starting to find their groove. And yeah, I do think Kirk Cousins is better than Jared Goff, but Jared Goff has also been performing well this year, outperforming expectations. So, and that's exactly what he needs to do to keep that Lions team afloat. So, awesome game there. Let's try and pick things up a little bit. Ravens Patriots. I'm going to touch on this one real quick here before we move forward. I think here's another one of your contenders for MVP is Lamar Jackson. Like Lamar Jackson is going insane. Like Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, and Lamar Jackson should be your top 3 contenders for MVP, and then it should kind of be everybody else after that. 4 passing touchdowns, rushing touchdown. Lamar Jackson was once again one of the top 5 rushing leaders in the league this week, which is ridiculous. Like he can do both things on both sides of the ball, and he is out there to prove that he should be paid what he is worth. And he's proving that. He has more than done that. Mark Andrews had a big game, 2 touchdowns. And then Devontae Parker for the Patriots had a big game. 5 receptions for 156. Like, that's an insane stat line in of itself. Unfortunate for Mac Jones to go down with that injury, but I think his gritty was just so powerful that even his body couldn't handle it. So Mac Jones, unfortunate for you. Sorry to see you go down with an injury. Not a great game for him, but I mean, 321 yards passing is still good, but 3 interceptions, not great. Not a lot else to say about this one. Lamar's looking awesome. Good to see J.K. Dobbins back. He'll start popping off again. And yeah, Devin Duvernay with a touchdown again. Devin Duvernay quietly having a big year, so.
I'm a big fan of Devontae Parker.
Yeah.
I liked him a lot. I liked him a lot when he was in the Dolphins.
Devontae Parker's good. I like him a lot, too.
I like Devontae Parker.
Yeah, I gotta say, I gotta say, man, I think Mac Jones had one of the worst games that you could have. I mean, he threw for 321 yards, but yeah, 3 interceptions. That is not good. Lamar, unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, four touchdowns, through the air on only 18 completions.
Yeah.
With 1 interception. I mean, he got sacked 4 times, but he still rushed for, 11 times for 107 yards and got a touchdown. So, yeah, I mean, right now I'm going to put it in as the top 3 contenders. Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, and Lamar Jackson are your top 3 coming for MVP right now.
Absolutely.
And I mean, they're all making their cases for it. So, or you know what? I'll even throw Mac Jones in there just for the gritty. We're going to go ahead and put him in there at 4th. But yeah.
He'll probably still get more MVP votes than Russell Wilson.
So Ravens are looking good, but they got a test coming up, and we'll talk about that later on in this podcast. So.
Just a little fun note for you guys. You see Nelson Aguilar there. I saw this TikTok. It was one of those like people, like a guy goes out on the streets and interviews like random girls on like the pier about the interview was name 3 athletes. I just named 3 athletes. This girl names LeBron James 1, and then names Nelson Aguilar 2, of all people. I'm like, who? I'm like, and then she named some other like big athlete 3. I don't know who it was, but I'm like, you're gonna pull Nelson Aguilar just out of nowhere. Like, I don't get it. So yeah, there you go. Your top 2 athletes in the world, LeBron James and Nelson Aguilar, according to this girl.
All right, fair enough.
Let's go with that. Moving on here. Sorry to go off track there, guys. Bengals Jets, again, not a lot to say about this game. Joe Burrow finally had a good game. So props to him. The Bengals get their win. Another game that we predicted wrong here. Again, here's another example of a star wide receiver just kind of not having great games yet. Jamar Chase, a quiet game, had a touchdown, so props to him. Tyler Boyd had a good game here. But yeah, it's nice to see Joe Burrow doing well again. I think he's starting to get his groove. Owen, what do you got?
Quick thing. You guys got to look at the receivers for the Injury quickly. Look at this. Okay, Brees Hall, Elijah Moore, and Corey Davis. Those three, those are some big names. Corey
Yeah.
Davis, like Elijah, they should all be doing way better than what their stats are right now.
Yeah.
But I think the problem is also, I honestly didn't even know Joe Flacco was still in the league till the season started.
Yeah.
So I thought that dude was dead or something.
Yeah. Well, and after this podcast or at some point, go on your phone and look up last week's game for the Jets. Joe Flacco had like 400 or 600 yards. Like he had. Do you remember what it was, Kevin? I think it was like 400.
It was 400 something yards. I'll pull it up. Keep talking.
Yeah, the dude. Yeah, Joe Flacco has been. I mean, yeah, he had 2 interceptions, but 285 yards. That's pretty good. 28 of 52. I mean, Joe Flacco's been. I mean, he's not looking like an MVP. Caliber quarterback. But he's looking good.
Yeah, I don't think his team is being utilized as much with the receiving core he has.
Yeah, I mean, I think definitely the receivers need to step up, but also before you go, Caleb.
Yeah.
For Cincinnati, T. Higgins these past couple games has been stepping up in some big areas. He's been getting some really good reception. So props to him for that.
Absolutely. Flacco had 307 yards and 4 touchdowns last week. So that was a very prime Joe Flacco game, which you wouldn't expect at this stage in his career.
Who's it against?
The Browns, obviously. Yeah. But yeah, the Jets have a solid team. If your receiving core, like you have Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore, and Corey Davis, and then you've also got Brees Hall and Michael Carter in the backfield. Like this Jets team is not bad. Like there really is not a bad team in the NFL this year. You just have the teams that are worse than others is really what it is. The Bengals are coming back. Good for them. Moving on from that, because there's really not a lot to say about that. Eagles, Commanders. I'm not going to say a lot about this one. Eagles win big. Jalen Hurts, MVP. Jalen Hurts season, baby.
Jalen Hurts season.
Devontae Smith had a huge game here. 8 receptions, 169 yards. AJ Brown had a good game. Terry McLaurin had a good game for the Commanders. And Carson Wentz continues to still have a very solid year, above expectations. Antonio Gibson had a good game here. But yeah, Jalen Hurts season is in full effect. We are heading straight for a Dolphins-Eagles Super Bowl at this pace. So will that continue? No. Hopefully not. I won't be able to. We'll die. Just so long as it isn't a Bills-Eagles Super Bowl, because then the entire world will crumble, because everybody will be jumping off of everything.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts on this one?
I don't really have any. I mean, pretty average game. Eagles did well. Commanders didn't.
Cool. There you go. That's simple as that. Another game I'm really not going to talk much about, Saints-Panthers. Saints are not great. Baker Mayfield is bad. Christian McCaffrey is finally starting to come back too. So if you have McCaffrey and Derrick Henry, they're starting to come back a little bit. So yeah, props on you. And then fantasy owners, go pick up Chris Olave if you don't have him already, and if he's still available. 9 receptions for 147 yards on 13 targets. He's getting a lot of targets and getting a lot of yards. So big game for him. Right? What's up?
I think you went to Ohio State.
I think so.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
The worst college in the nation.
Worst college in the nation that has produced some of the best receivers of all time. But regardless, Ohio State, one of those teams that just is a farm for NFL players at this point. But yeah, I agree. I don't like Ohio State either. Panthers get the win there.
What's his name? Who died?
Hey, go Dogs.
Dang. Okay, I want to see how it is.
Caleb, go Dogs.
Go Dogs, baby.
Go Bills.
Austin, here's a game we predicted, right? We said the Falcons would go and get their win in Seattle, and they did. And Marcus Mariota didn't look bad. Had a very solid game.
Oregon dog.
That's right.
If he can get back to his Oregon Heisman days, bro, Marcus Mariota would be top 5.
Well, dude, look at Geno Smith this game. 325 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jeez.
Yeah, I thought I slept on Geno Smith. I'm not gonna lie.
Who is this man?
Geno Smith has always been one of those quarterbacks where he just pops up for random games as a backup and does insane. So, Cordell Patterson still just putting this team on his back. 17 for 141 and a touchdown. But yeah, if you picked anybody of Atlanta's receivers for your fantasy team, like Drake London or Kyle Pitts, you're still just crying about it because Marcus Mariota can't throw the ball much. Isn't throwing the ball much, I should say. Not can't, isn't. That's just not what their scheme is. But yeah, this was Falcons get a win against, a bad team, beat a bad team. That's kind of how it is.
Yep.
I don't have a lot else to say about this one. Moving on from the Falcons and the Seahawks, we got a snooze fest of a football game. The Packers
won the Super Bowl.
The Packers and the Buccaneers. Now, this game proves how much Tom Brady needs help at this stage in his career from his receivers. When you have Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and Julio Jones all out for this game, there's not much you can do. So Bucs didn't do much of anything. Packers squeak by. Romeo Doubs had a touchdown. Allen Lazard had a touchdown. Packers receivers are still very underwhelming. And this Tampa Bay defense is the best defense in the league right now. Like, don't sleep on the Bucs defense. It is insane holding the Packers to 14. And then for the fact that this game was as close as it was with how poorly the Bucs offense was playing, that's a testament to their defense.
Well, I agree with you, but I also think it's also a testament to the fact that Green Bay has no solid wide receiving core.
Mm-hmm.
I think if they got more solid wide receivers, I think that while the Bucs would, their defense is still good. I think that the Green Bay Packers would have scored more points. Aaron Jones needs to step up, and they need to get some big names for wide receivers, or at least have everybody come together and all step up collectively. Because I'm not impressed by their receiving core, just like I'm not impressed with the Colts receiving core, and the rushing needs to step up. So
yeah. I agree. Yeah. I'm more this. I think Green Bay's receiving core is better than the Colts just because of.
Yes.
You look at the names: Randall Cobb, Allen Lazard, and Tyler Davis, and Romeo Doubs. Like, those are all really big names, and they just all kind of need to, obviously step up a little bit or come together, because they're obviously not big names, but I say the biggest name is probably Lazard or Cobb. But they're not huge names, but they're all a solid receiving core that just needs to perform better.
Yeah,
absolutely. 100% agree. But Aaron Rodgers continuing to keep the Packers looking like a good team just because it's Aaron Rodgers. And then yet another snooze fest on Sunday Night Football this week. This game sucked. I'm sorry. I'm just going to say that right now.
It was so bad.
And I'm going to continue making this point until I'm proven wrong. Russell Wilson with $245 million robbery continues of the Broncos. Gosh, Russell Wilson just doesn't look good at all. He's not doing anything. He's not doing anything. Jimmy G, aside from the whole stepping out of bounds for a safety, throwing a pick six, is still looking better than Russell Wilson is. He's producing more. He at least threw a touchdown in this game and had a carry. Russell Wilson is just kind of there. He just kind of, hey guys, I'm a big name star, but I'm very average. Broncos, you didn't deserve this game. 49, nobody deserved to win this game, and the team that played slightly better than just awful won. It was
the home field advantage for Denver.
Sure.
Wilson goes 20 of 33, 184 yards, and gets sacked 4 times. Garoppolo was also sacked 4 times. And at least he threw a touchdown, but he had that interception and had 211 yards. Deebo Samuel
was perfectly awful.
Looked okay. Devonta Williams looked okay. Cortland Sutton did pretty good. That's about it. It was not impressive for anybody by any standards ever.
Exactly. The Broncos somehow 2-1. I still don't think you're a good team. You're just squeaking by, and you can't produce anything. Yeah. I don't think this Broncos team would beat the Bears. That's a little bold to say. Fair. I don't think this Broncos team would beat the Bears right now.
Well, I'm saying like they're like the Bears. It's the same storyline.
Yeah, absolutely. Owen, do you have anything you want to say about this one before we move on to Monday night?
Yeah, Russell Wilson's a bot.
I'll give you that.
He is a bot.
Broncos country, you're riding on 3 legs at this point. You better step it up.
Broncos country, let's ride, baby.
Broncos country, you should be crying.
Let's ride and freshly neutered.
Hey, Monday Night Football. Monday Night Football. It is Cooper Rush season for the Cowboys.
It is, dude.
Was Dak Prescott the problem all along in Dallas? Tell me where I'm wrong. I'm not seeing any argument here. They're 2-0 under Cooper Rush and have one loss under Dak Prescott. Pollard had a good game. CeeDee Lamb had a decent game. Saquon still
had a great game.
Yes.
Sorry, keep going.
Saquon's still looking pretty good. So I'm glad to see Saquon back, looking great, looking like he's playing like he used to. But yeah, Danny Dimes is still Danny Dimes. He's still below average. And Cooper Rush is a top 15 quarterback in the league. No, I'm kidding. But Cooper Rush leading, frankly, a Cowboys team that everybody thought could be counted out of the season to 2 straight wins is awesome to see. I'm happy for him. And I'm sorry to say the Cowboys are looking like them boys right now. Wow. I hate to say it. More than anything in my life, I hate to say it. But props to you, Cowboys. That's all I got to say.
Yeah,
me and Austin are about to say the same thing, because me and Austin both hate when Cowboys fans say that they're back every single year. And them boys and all that crap. But they're not making the playoffs. I'm just gonna tell you right now. It's still early in the season, but I'm just telling you, when playoff time comes, the Cowboys are not going. If they were to make it, knocked out first round for sure. It's not an impressive team.
Okay. Before you go.
Yeah, go ahead.
A game I would want to see right now to see who would make the playoffs between the two teams would be the Cowboys and the Rams. Because if those two teams played right now, the winner of that game makes the playoffs. The loser does not.
That's a good.
I'll give you that.
Good, yeah.
That's the bold point I'm gonna make right now.
Rams are pulling that anyway. Keep going.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say. I mean, I actually watched this game or most of it. And I mean, neither team looked extremely impressive. I mean, it was just kind of your average game. But I mean, the Cowboys really stepped up when they needed to. Yeah, I mean, Cooper Rush is looking like he's the solution right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it was Sterling Shepard, that went down with an injury. He got carted off the field.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen the updates on that. I don't know if you guys have. I haven't seen any updates yet.
I haven't.
I did. But, I think he said he's out for a little bit.
Okay.
So I mean, hopefully that's nothing too serious. But I mean, good job to the Cowboys. As much as I hate to say it, good job. You got your win in a tough environment against a pretty good team. Diggs got his first interception of the year. So I guess if you're a Diggs fan, then good for you. But it was a pretty average game in my opinion overall. I mean, a little bit of interesting sprinkled here and there, but overall just kind of a typical game. But yeah, good job on the Cowboys. I still don't think they're back. Sorry, Cowboys fans. Maybe you'll prove me wrong, but I doubt it.
You're proving me wrong so far. What I will say also, just a little note for Giants fans, it won't be long before Kenny Golladay requests a trade at this rate, because he is not being used. He's asked to be used. He's still not being used. Let Golladay go somewhere where they'll actually use him, because Golladay is a good receiver. That is just put him on the Colts.
Right.
Please, we need something. I don't care who it is at this point. Just bring us something. That's going to be it for our talk of week 3. Dang, we are 3 weeks through the NFL season so far, heading into week 4. It's crazy to think about.
That is insane.
I don't have a lot else I want to talk about this week. We're going to go quick and look at game picks from last week, and I will update the record as we see them. So last week, let me go ahead and make sure you guys can see this before we do this. So week 3 game picks from last week, those are all going to be listed right here. So I'll take the L for quite a few of these, it looks like. So I lost the Steelers, I lost the Chiefs, I lost the Bills, I lost the Chargers, I lost the Cardinals, I lost the Texans. It's not a good week. I lost the Raiders. Here's the games I won. Vikings, Ravens, Eagles, Falcons. That's it. I won 4 games last week. So really a bad week for me. 4 for 12, right? 3, 6, 9, 12. Yeah. 4 for 12. Austin, on the other hand, had a really good week. So probably take the lead here. You got the Browns right. Let's see. You got the Bears right. You got the Vikings right. The Ravens, the Eagles, the Falcons, and the Cowboys. So props to you. 7 and 9 for this week. Really not bad. Good job. Awesome job, Austin. Taking the lead in overall picks. So that's awesome to see. Let me go ahead and update that real quick. And then this here is 7 and 9. That's going to be 18, I believe. Yeah. Nice job. Taking the lead there. So Austin takes the lead on game picks by 3 after I just completely do awful this week. 4 and 12 to 7 and 9. This was not a good week for me. Okay, we're just gonna say that right now. I don't know crap about anything apparently. So there's a reason this is called an NFL fan podcast, not an NFL analyst podcast. I don't know what I'm doing. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and hop real quick into week 4 game picks before we hop out of here. Owen, you're going to go ahead and pick with us. That way we can kind of have a little bit of fun with this, see how we do. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into week 4 if it'll ever load. Sorry, my thing.
I think we need to do is, Caleb, I think you and me need to make our picks like first for each game.
Okay.
And then have Owen, kind of choose to side with one of us or agree with us or disagree with both of us, depending on what we pick.
Sure. I'm cool with that. Thursday night football on 2 days from now, we've got the Dolphins and the Bengals. Bengals are at home and they did have a big win last week, but I think the Dolphins continue their win streak and get a big win here and go to 4-0.
Yeah. Cincinnati is favored by 4, and it also is at home, but I got to go with the Dolphins. They're looking too strong right now. I think Jalen Waddle's going to have a good game. I think that Tyreek might step and have at least a decent game, if not another good game. Tua's been doing good. I got to pick the Dolphins pretty easily.
Owen, any agree or disagree on that? And Owen might be frozen. Love that.
Looks like he might have accidentally
left.
failed to
we'll come back to that once Owen kind of gets everything in order. Titans Colts, we'll go ahead and move on to that game. I really don't know who I want to pick here. In all honesty, this is probably not going to be a very great game if I'm being honest. Because of the fact that Derrick Henry is kind of rebounding a little bit, I'm going to pick the Titans, honestly, in this one. I know the Colts just beat the Chiefs, but I think that will also cause us to have a bit of a down week. So I'm going to pick the Titans here. I think the Colts kind of fall short a little bit and the Titans get a win.
Yeah, this is tough for me because, it is at home again. And, the place was absolutely rocking on Sunday against the Chiefs. And, I think the Chiefs are a much better team than the Titans are. But I think with Derrick Henry stepping up, like you said, and I just don't have enough confidence quite yet in the Colts to pick them in a game like this. So I have to agree with you. I'm gonna go Titans. As much as it breaks my heart, I gotta pick Titans.
Another big win for the Colts here, and our picks might start changing, but we'll see. This ought to be a shootout of a game. Bills Ravens, 1:00 on CBS in Baltimore. This is another game that I really don't want to pick. This one's going to come down for me to how many of Bills defenders are still out with injuries. I think the Bills, though, I think Josh Allen and the Bills do come out mad after losing to the Dolphins last week in the fashion they did. I think the Bills take this one in Baltimore. This is a close, very high-scoring game. The over-under is 51. I could see betting the over on this.
Yeah, this is the tough one for me, too. The Bills are a solid squad. But
yes.
So are the Ravens. And the thing that bugs me most is the Ravens are looking really good. Lamar's looking really good. But the Bills, it comes down to their defense. And
yeah,
I don't know a lot about all their injuries. For me, it kind of comes down to if the Bills are the same team in terms of personnel. So if all those defenders that they have are still out, I think the Ravens are going to win. But if they're back, or at least somewhat back, I think the Bills, that might be enough to kind of keep Lamar contained. But honestly, I'm going to take a risk here. I'm going to pick the Ravens. I think it's going to be a shootout, but I think Lamar is going to pop off. I think both Lamar and Allen are both going to go off. But I could be wrong, but I'm going to go ahead and pick the Ravens here. And I guess you could say in a way a slight upset. I mean, it is at home, and they're not favored. So I'm going to go ahead and give it to the Ravens. I think Lamar has a great game.
You don't win pick them for the whole season if you don't take a risk. So I respect the lot out of that. Chargers, Texans. This again is going to come down to injuries and how well Justin Herbert's playing. I do think the Chargers are just a bit too much for a team like the Texans. I think the Chargers rebound here as well and get a win back. And the Texans continue their winless streak. The Chargers are favored by 5. I could see it being right around that 3 to 7 point range though. But I think the Chargers squeak by in the end to get a big win back.
I mean, the Texans are pretty good and they're at home. I mean, even though the Texans don't have, a good record, I think they've been playing really well, but I think the Chargers are just going to have a little bit too much for them.
Moving on then, Vikings, Saints. We'll make this one kind of quick. I'll pick the Vikings to win this one.
Yep, same here.
Looks like Owen is back with us. We're trying to get back with us, so we'll bring him in as we continue. Browns, Falcons. I know the Falcons just got a big win in Seattle, but I'm going to go ahead and stick with the Browns here. I think the Browns continue their momentum, get a win here in Atlanta, and I think the Falcons, again, have a bit of a down week after a win. I'm going Browns.
Yeah, I'm going to go Browns as well. And Owen, we'll get all your picks once we're done.
You guys go through. My stuff crashed. I'm good now, but you guys keep going.
Sweet.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and go through the rest of our picks, and then we'll just quick run through the games, and Owen just rapid fire will say who he thinks. I think that's the best way to do it. So, but yeah, I'm going Browns as well, Caleb.
Awesome. Next up, the Commanders and the Cowboys in Dallas, in Arlington. Okay, so I want to pick the Commanders here. So I think the Commanders might be ever so slightly the better team, at least with the Cowboys being with Cooper Rush. But I'm more than willing to hype on the Cooper Rush train. I think the Cowboys surprisingly get another win here. I think the Cowboys get another win in Dallas and move to 3-1, surprisingly. Cooper Rush stays undefeated.
Yeah, I literally, you could not have said what I was going to say any more perfectly. I mean, I do not want to pick the Cowboys, but at this point right now, I'm going to have to. I just think it's a safer bet. The Panthers have a really good team, but I just think going into Arlington to play and with how well the Cowboys have been playing so far with Cooper Rush, I got to pick the Cowboys.
Seahawks, Lions. This is a quick one. I'm going Lions. They're favored by 4.5.
Baby.
Lions win big. Lions win big here.
Lions, baby. Give it to me.
Next up, we got Bears at the Giants. This is a very much a coin flip game for me. I think the Giants have a little bit more than the Bears do, but the past 2 weeks, the story for the Bears has been having a running back rush for over 150 yards. And I'm going to go bold and say that continues this week. I'm picking the Bears in an upset here at the Giants.
Ooh. Yeah, that's tough. I think the Giants have a better team, but dude, the Bears, their offense, at least on the rushing side, has been really good. And honestly, I haven't seen a ton out of the Giants. I'm going to have to go Bears too, as much as that hurts me to say it too. And as much I'm shocked that I'm saying it, I got to go Bears.
Nice. I like it. Jags, Eagles, this ought to be fun.
Cool.
This is going to be a fun game. I have a feeling will be a shootout of a game. I would love to pick the Jaguars here. I really would, but I don't think they're enough to beat the Eagles at the Eagles. I think this was in Jacksonville. This might be a bit of a different story, but I think Eagles have a bit too much and win a shootout here. Eagles win. Or Eagles fly.
I'm going to say the same thing. I think the Jaguars are a really good team. I think they're going to put up a fight, but the Eagles are also just an amazing team. And the fact they're at home gives them, it's a loud environment. You can't go wrong with picking the Eagles here.
Jets at the Steelers. This is going to be
a garbage can game.
So
it's a dumpster fire.
It really is. I'm picking the Jets here just because I don't think the Steelers offense has enough. I don't think the Steelers offense is that good. It's not that good, frankly. Their defense could keep them in this. Yes, they're a favorite, but I'm picking another upset here. I'm going the Jets.
I don't like picking either team in all honesty, but I'm gonna say just because it's at home, I'm gonna go and pick the Steelers for this one.
Okay, I like it. Cardinals, Panthers. I think the Cardinals. The Cardinals are good against anyone but the Rams, so I'm picking the Cardinals.
Yeah, I'll agree with you on that one.
Patriots, Packers. Patriots are bad. I'm going Packers. Not much more to say.
Yep, move on. Same thing.
Broncos, Raiders. Okay. I hate to.
Can I go first on this one?
Please go ahead.
Okay, I think it's pretty simple. I think the Raiders are going to pick up their first win. Raiders. Enough said.
Cool. I was going to say the exact same thing. I was going to pick the Raiders here. I hate to do it just because of how they've been playing and how they've been close. But the Broncos are one of probably the worst 2-1 teams. Not the worst, but one of the lower end 2-1 teams in the league right now. I'm begging the Raiders to please get a win here because I want you guys to be good. I want you guys to do well. Raiders, come on, baby, please get a win here. Chiefs, Bucks, rematch of the Super Bowl a couple years ago, 2020, I believe, Super Bowl, if I'm remembering that correctly. Chiefs are going to be angry. Chiefs are going to be real mad, but this is also going up against the Bucks defense, which is the best defense in the league, in my opinion. I think Mike Evans is back. It was a 1-game suspension, so Mike Evans will be back. I don't know if Godwin or Julio are going to be back, so that's going to really decide where this one goes. But I think Mahomes carries the Chiefs to an upset win in Tampa Bay here. I know the Chiefs are favored, but I think they upset Tampa Bay at home. Tampa Bay's a tough place to play.
Well, there's only one thing I got to say. I'm going with the Chiefs. I think that, yes, it is, home for the Bucks, but the Chiefs are looking really good right now. Patrick Mahomes is looking good. Obviously, they lost the Colts, but they looked okay in that game. They didn't look awful, but they've been looking good in their past couple games. Before that, I think the Chiefs just have too much. Brady has not been looking super duper good. He doesn't really have a ton of people he can throw to. Yes, Mike Evans, the way will be back, but I just don't think it's enough. I'm gonna give him to the Chiefs.
And then Monday Night Football on October 3rd, we got the Rams and the Niners. Yet another toss-up game for me. This will really dictate which of these teams could come out of this division. This game is a key matchup for both of them. The Rams need a win here to kind of really solidify themselves as, hey, we're still at the top here. We're still the dog in this division. But this is at the 49ers. Jimmy G needs to have a big game here and really step it up. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go ahead and pick. I'm picking the 49ers.
Oh, dude.
What?
Caleb.
You wanted me to pick the Rams, so you could pick the Niners, right?
Yep. Yeah. I got to go with the 49ers just because it's at home. I think the Rams, in my opinion, have a little bit better of a team, but I just think that they haven't really been playing to their caliber yet. I haven't seen enough from them. I need to see some guys. So this is the game where they need to step up. So it'll be interesting to see if they do. But I think that Jimmy G is going to have a pretty good game. And I think that Debo will be able to step up and a couple other key factors for them. And with being at home, night game, I just got to go 49ers.
So that wraps up game picks for me and Austin. Owen, to get you caught up to speed, the only games we picked differently is I picked the Jets, Austin picked the Steelers, and then I picked the Bills, he picked the Ravens in this game. So, Owen, we're going to go ahead and run through your game picks for this week, and then we'll call this podcast done for the week. Dolphins, Bengals, Owen, start us off. We'll run it through.
Dolphins, 100%. Not much else to say.
Titans, Colts.
Colts.
We both picked Tennessee to win this one. The reason I think we both picked Tennessee is because we just haven't seen enough from the Colts yet, and I think the Tennessee Titans and Derrick Henry are starting to rebound a little bit.
I know, but we also got to remember the Colts are coming off a win against the Chiefs, and they're fired up, and it's another home game for the Colts.
True, but I also think the Colts might have a bit of a letdown game because they just expended a lot beating the Chiefs. But we could be wrong. That's the point. That's the point of picking them. You never know.
Sure.
Bills, Ravens.
Bills.
Chargers, Texans.
Chargers.
Vikings and the Saints.
Vikings.
Nice. Browns, Falcons.
Falcons.
Ooh, good.
I think the Falcons are going to come out of nowhere, and Marcus Mariota is going to throw for 350 yards and 3 touchdowns, and they're going to go insane.
Okay, might as well.
Also, one thing we'll put to note, I just realized the Vikings Saints game, that's in London.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
wow.
You're right. Yeah. Hey, 9:30 a.m. football, boys. All day. Let's go.
That's actually so sick.
That's awesome. I love to see it. Commanders, Cowboys.
See, this is where I'm like,
We were split on this one too. We both picked the Cowboys. I didn't want to.
I'm gonna go with the Commanders. I think Terry McLaurin's gonna have a good game, and Carson Wentz might do better than he's been playing. So I'm gonna go with the Commanders.
Seahawks, Lions.
Lions.
Bears, Giants.
Saquon looked really good last night.
True. The story of the Bears the last couple weeks has been their rushing attack.
I'm gonna go with the Giants.
Okay, you're gonna differ from us again. We both picked the Bears to win that one. Jags, Eagles.
All I gotta say is MMG said it best. It's herd season, baby.
Bingo. Good pick. Good pick.
Hurt season.
Jets, Steelers.
I think the Jets are gonna win.
Yes, I love it. Cardinals, Panthers.
Yikes. This is a very, I think, back and forth game. I think that I'm gonna go with the Panthers on this one.
Wow.
Oh.
I know.
Bold pick. I like it.
I mean, Baker, Christian McCaffrey, and DJ Moore.
Baker, who's been looking like a bottom 5 quarterback in the league all year. That Baker.
DJ Moore, who has not been looking good at all.
Whatever. Hey guys, by the way, if you're gonna look at my trade request that I requested in our league.
I saw you.
I will pull it up right now because Austin, don't spoil it. I have not seen it yet. Okay. I want to look at it right now.
Okay, you look at it.
I gave one to Austin. I gave one to both of you guys.
Is mine different from Caleb's?
Yeah.
Okay, well, mine was it DJ Moore and Jamar Chase for Tyreek Hill? Is that right?
Yeah.
I would almost take Jamar Chase for Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, I almost would, just because Tyreek Hill has not been playing super well. But I'm worried that he's going to have some kind of breakout thing, and Jamar Chase just hasn't been looking incredible so far.
But Jamar might have a break. And Caleb, look at your trade.
I see your trade. I'm going to decline it. I'm keeping Diggs. Sorry, I gotta keep Diggs, man.
What was it?
It was he offered me AJ Brown and Jamar Chase for Stephon Diggs.
Oh, that's actually a really good trade.
That's a really good trade, but I'm keeping.
It's not bad.
I'm keeping Diggs just because of how good his connection with Josh Allen.
Patriots. Him and Josh. He has Josh Allen and Diggs,
and Cooper Kupp, bro. It's so cheese.
So for those of you that are wondering why we all have such stacked teams, we are in a league just the 4 of us, with 3 of us and then a bot. So there's. What is this?
Are you going?
Heaven or Ohio? That's a mood. That's a mood. We're only playing in a league with the 4 of us, so we can all have stacked teams and just have a lot of fun with it. So that's why.
And to clarify, the 4th person is a bot.
I said that.
It's a literal bot.
Yes, it is a bot. I do have control over the bot, but we don't ever use it. Anyway, Patriots, Packers. Who's winning?
Packers.
Broncos, Raiders.
See, listen. I know the Raiders are 0-3, and I know they can probably get their first win here. But at the same time, I want to pick the Broncos for some reason. But the way that Trash Can Wilson's been playing, I'm definitely going with the Raiders.
I love it. Trash Can Wilson. Let's stick with that,
bro. You're with us.
Chiefs at the Bucks.
Chiefs for sure.
I like it. And then to cap it off, Monday Night Football, we got the Rams and the 49ers. Who you got, buddy?
the Rams. Going against both of you guys because I think the Rams will win this game. Cooper Kupp, dude, Matthew Stafford's gonna do some sidearm to Cooper Kupp, snag, touchdown 1, snag, touchdown 2.
Put some respect on Cooper
Clockwork.
Kupp's name, baby. So there you go. Owen with a lot of different picks. So either Austin and I will look like geniuses, or Owen's going to look like the biggest brain in all of NFL sports today, picking a bunch of games right. But we will see next week how all this shakes out. I'm excited for week 4 of the NFL, and I'm excited also for what's coming up in a couple of days, which is week 5 of college football. And you will see that podcast come out from us on Thursday. I'm hoping that, baby. Owen, you'll be able to join us for that one. But yeah, Owen, good to have you here, buddy. Thanks so much for joining us on the podcast this week. It's awesome having you.
Yeah, dude, enjoyed it. Good. Great to be on. Fans, you know me. You love me.
We do. We do. There are a lot of Owen fans
buddy.
out there. Everybody loves Owen. Owen's a lot of fun.
Everybody loves Owen.
Everybody loves Owen. That's right. That should be a segment. Everybody loves Owen. We just read content. No, I'm kidding. That'll be a thing in the long, long distant future when we have a lot of subscribers.
Dead.
Everybody loves Owen. We're just gonna have like old clips of Owen just saying and doing dumb stuff.
That's crazy. We can't show any of that.
We can't show any of that. I have that saved on my unlisted, so we can't show any of that.
Oh dear.
And then obviously we have Fortnite clips with Owen. We have some Fortnite clips with Owen.
Hey, we do, and we need to do that again soon. We need to figure out if we can do like Kale, what I talked to you about was last week. We talked about maybe doing like a game capture device, and then doing that whole situation. If we can figure out all that, maybe me and Owen could both do that. Maybe over like Christmas break, and we can put together some clips and
sure.
Make a video. I think that'd be really fun.
I just have to learn how to edit, but
yeah,
that'll take a long time, but besides the point. Yeah, that's going to be it for this week, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in as always to the Everyday NFL Fan Podcast. Excited for week 4, well on its way. Austin, good to have you on as always. I look forward to seeing you next week. Owen, hopefully I'll get to see you next week as well. You can become a regular on the show. Keep your eyes out. I got more Fantasy Wrestling Match of the Week comes back tomorrow. Sorry about the delay on that. Had some issues with uploading that video. And then the From the Student Section podcast. If you didn't see the podcast last week, that's because it also had issues uploading. It just never went up. I don't know why. So I'm going to try and figure that out to get that out to you guys so you can see it before the edition Thursday. But that's going to be it for now, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great night. Peace out, y'all.
Take care and peace.